Hi class, welcome to Family Violence Fall 2020, the pandemic version. So here we are in my kitchen and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the class to make it easier for you to navigate. So on the top of the homepage, make sure that you read the intro. That's going to give you everything you need to know about how to navigate the class, but I'll go over it really quickly just to help you, and also with the project because that is different with this semester. It's been different than we've had to do before. So the first thing I want you to know is that every week is pretty much the same. It's really easy to navigate. You don't have to do anything live except for the project. So you can just watch on your own time, which is probably nice for you because I know you have other classes, you have Zoom meetings. We don't have any of that here. You just get to see me every once in a while. But you don't have to do it at any particular time. So you do need, though, to keep up every week on the work for that week. And I have so many students that come at the end of the semester and they've missed weeks and they get a bad grade because you have to keep up. You cannot make up modules if you miss them unless you have approval from me. So if you're sick, don't make excuses. Don't tell me you have COVID if you don't. Just tell me, I got drunk, I'm late posting, can I have another day? And I'll say yes, thank you for asking. I don't care what your excuse is, I will give you an extension, but you have to ask. Don't come to me afterwards and don't lie. Don't tell me someone died, or don't tell me that you're sick if you're not sick, okay? Because those things happen and I feel really bad when they happen, and so I don't want to have compassion for you over something that's not true. I only want to have compassion when it is true. So be honest. All right, so keep up on your work every week. It's not that hard. You should be able to get an A in this class if you try and you read and you do the work. You do need the books. You do need to read them. I don't care what people might tell you, oh, you don't need them. You do. So, I mean, if you want a good grade, you could probably pass, maybe cheat your way through, but you're not going to get a good grade. So if you care about your grade and if you want to learn something, you can really learn a lot in this class, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it if you put a lot into it. So I hope that you do. All right, so I want to tell you about the project. So we used to do tours at Casa de Amparo, Amity Foundation, WRC, which is formerly Women's Resource Center. So now instead of doing tours, we're doing Zoom calls. So you're going to have several dates to choose from. Make sure, I want you to choose those this week. So choose which tours you're going to do. You have to do 2 out of 3. So you don't have to do all 3, Amity, WRC, and Casa de Amparo. You just have to do 2 out of 3. If you do all 3, you can get 10 extra credit points. So 10 extra credit points, there's only 300 points in the whole class, so that makes a difference. So you might want to do that. But sign up or decide which ones you don't have to sign up, but decide which ones you want to do, and then I'll be sending the Zoom links when I get them. I don't have them yet, but I will be sending those, and choose whichever 2 are the most interesting to you. If you look at the schedule and you cannot make any of the meetings, please contact me as soon as possible. I need to know this week if you cannot make a meeting, because if enough people can't make them and you tell me I want to go to WRC and Amity, but I can't make either one, or I can only make Amity, but I can't make WRC, any of those dates or times, then let me know, because maybe I can schedule something else if enough students can't make one of the scheduled meetings. Don't wait till the end of the semester. I won't be able to help you, and you're going to have to find some other service organization where you can do a Zoom call with them, which I don't know how hard or easy that would be. So work it out with me, and then you're not going to have to figure that out yourself, because I won't be able to help you at the end of the semester. I don't know where else you can do it. Everything is a little bit more difficult, as you know. So let's get this figured out in the beginning of the semester rather than the end, since your project is worth a lot of points. So read through the assignments, read through the project, so you know what I'm talking about. And I don't think it'll be hard for you to understand. You just got to read through the information. All right, so you have weekly posts, and you're going to post every week. You start with module 0 this week, and it's usually due on Monday, but this week, of course, I'm not making it due on Monday. It'll be due on Wednesday, and then you have replies due on Thursday. So the rest of the weeks, when there's not a holiday, initial post Monday, reply post Thursday, and Every week it's super easy to figure out because you just read the lecture, you watch videos, you do your readings, which that's in the calendar, and then you do your weekly posts, and it's this week's 5 points, but most weeks it's 10 points per week. So then your project and your book report are separate assignments. So everything's in the calendar. Check the calendar every week. Make sure that you're not missing an assignment that's due. You want to know, obviously, when things are due, and you can kind of think you have it figured out, but make sure you keep up on it. Check the calendar every week. Look at the assignments this week, and then every module, simple, mod 0 this week, then mod 1, mod 2, all the way up to 14, and then we'll be done. Yay! So this class is going to be fun, though. Like, I try to really make it fun for you. I'm making a brand new Love Talk, so you get to be the first ones to watch the new Love Talk. So that will be one of your assignments, and you do have to watch that with another person. So that's something else you want to plan, because that's your first assignment that's due in, it's not due for several weeks, or maybe a month. But anyway, you do need time to watch the videos. There will be several of them that it'll take you about an hour, hour and a half with somebody else, talk about it, and complete the assignment. So it's going to take some time. So leave yourself time to do that. All right. And I wanted to say a couple of things about sociology and family violence, because we are looking at this through a sociological lens, which I also explained in the other video. And I used the Aaron Hernandez case to explain some of the sociological factors of violence, but I want to tell you about a few more, because you need to understand that the sociological factors are what we're, of course, focusing on in this class. One of the sociological factors is that violence is idolized in our culture. We have a culture of violence. We like violence in sports. Our country was founded on violence. We idolize violence in a lot of ways. Fights, people like, what do people do when there's a fight? Like, they film it, It's so, games are violent. The media is another contributor to violence, because we have a lot of violence in the media, as you all know. So we really want to look at that. And I love sports. I love football, and my son wrestles. So, I think that sports are great, but we just have to realize that there is violence in it, and we got to, know its place and realize how that kind of seeps into other areas. Like, domination is a big part of our culture, and we want to help change that culture. Each of us can help change that culture. So you can go ahead and dominate in sports, but let's not do that in relationships. All right, so the other thing is we have a big bystander effect. As I was just saying, now, something's happening to somebody and people instantly go on their phones to film it rather than helping. So really important to report violence if you see it, if you hear it. I mean, so many people, they hear it. They hear someone, their neighbors, like in a big fight, and they can tell that someone's being hit or things are being thrown, and they don't report it. So I'm hoping that you will report it or call the police if you hear something. And, with sexual violence, with rape, there's a huge bystander effect. A girl getting taken into a room in a party, and we'll talk about that later in the semester, but you can do something, you can intervene, and you don't have to be like, you don't have to do it in a confrontational way even. You can just like grab that girl and say, hey, come with me. Don't go with that guy. Like, if you can see a situation isn't good, you can do something. And you can do it in a way that's not causing more violence, most of the time. The other thing is that we have a huge value of family privacy, which we'll talk about more, but people don't want to talk about what's going on in their families. So we've really got to work on that. And you are going to be talking about your families in this class. And if you're not comfortable, you can always tell me, hey, I'm not comfortable sharing that, and that's okay. But we want to break that. We want to break the silence about what's really happening in families. And there's a lot of abuse in families. I'm sure a lot of you have been abused. You've seen abuse. There's verbal abuse as well as physical abuse, and none of it's okay. So we're going to really work on that in this class. And there's a lack of awareness. People don't even realize what abuse is. They're like, well, yeah, I got hit and beaten and it left marks and I had bruises and, that's violence, that's abuse, and people don't even know what it is. So you're going to know what it is by the end of this class, more than you ever wanted to know about what it is. But it's good for you because it's going to help you break the cycle of violence. So that's my goal, is to help you break the cycle. Wow, my hands look so big. Break the cycle. I really don't have big hands. So that future generations will benefit from what you're learning now. All right, and then gender roles. We still have gender roles that contribute to violence. So there are still cultures, and I know many of you have experienced machismo, and there's other cultures, of course, that do have a gender role kind of tradition, which women are more passive and are supposed to be more submissive. So this can contribute, doesn't always, but it can contribute to the cycle of violence. And of course, violence can happen against men. You're going to learn about that. Women are perpetrators just like men are. The violence is different, but sometimes, not always, but sometimes it's different, but it's still there. And it's still just as wrong, whether you're a man or a woman, to be violent. So we are going to talk about all these things this semester. You're going to learn a lot, and it's going to be a great journey. So welcome. I'm really happy to have you. Go check out the class, and I will see you again for the Love Talk. All right, bye.